What is going on, everybody? Project Rod here, and it is race day and skills day. That didn't sound as good as I thought it would, but it's race day. So, qualifying is done. This is the leaderboards going into racing today. As you can see, nothing really changed. Northern Nightmare still on top, 57 points. Blue Thunder second with 51. Gravedigger third with 43. And so on and so forth as we take a look at our racing bracket for today. You can see Northern Nightmare, Gravedigger, Avenger, and Max D being the top four, getting bye runs into the second round as everybody else kind of gets into the mix in the first round. So, speaking of the first round, round one is starting. Whiplash versus Zombie. So, who's it gonna be? Whiplash being piloted by Morales TCS, one of two females in the Stadium Series, and Zombie being driven by Eddie Garcia Jr. Zombie being the faster qualifier just by 200ths of a second, right? Two 100ths of a second, I believe. That's how you say it, but looks like it's going to be an obvious win here as Whiplash crosses the finish line first, 23.67, 23.93 for Zombie. So Whiplash moving on to round two as we move on to our next race, Bakugan Dragonoid, Lane Flores 2, and Mohawk Warrior Blake Bell 2. Blake Bell 2 and Mohawk Warrior being our slowest qualifier, unfortunately. Bakugan being fifth. So just barely missing that bye run into the second round, but no big deal. If he's fast enough, and I'm sure he is, he will make it to the second round, no problem. As we go into the last turn, it looks somewhat even, not too sure here. Definitely going to be Bakugan as Mohawk Warrior goes over. Bakugan 23.12, Mohawk Warrior 23.42. So, halfway through round one, Bakugan moves on to round two to face off, I forget who, maybe Gravedigger if I'm not mistaken. But moving on to the next race of round one, it's Blue Thunder versus Monster Mutt. Monster Mutt being piloted by Ryan Hayward. Second to last in qualifying, Blue Thunder and MT World Media. Sixth in qualifying. He was third in qualifying last time around, so he was able to get that bye run as Monster Mutt clips that jump there, kind of screwed him up a bit. Blue Thunder getting an easy win here. Unfortunate for Monster Mutt as Blue Thunder kind of almost goes over, spinning it around on the sidewalls. That was crazy. That was awesome though. 22.71, our first time under 23 seconds. So pretty crazy race for the first round. As we go to our last race of round one, El Toro Loco versus Monster Mutt Dalmatian. April Summers piloting the Dalmatian, and Eddie Garcia, or excuse me, not Eddie Garcia. Julian Peacock Jr. driving El Toro Loco. April Summers being our second female in the field tonight. As it looks like it was kind of close, but definitely going to be the Dalmatian. 22.80 coming out really fast today. Definitely wanted to get a win here today. So Northern Nightmare versus Whiplash. Bakugan versus Gravedigger. Avenger versus Blue Thunder. And the Dalmatian versus Max D. All for round two. Really exciting stuff. We're kind of flying through here today. Let's see what round two will bring us. 4 more races before we get to the semifinals as Whiplash goes against our fastest qualifier in Northern Nightmare. Whiplash, I'm sure, coming out here wanting to get this win for the ladies. Northern Nightmare wanting to get a win in general after being the runner-up in Anaheim. Definitely out for a win tonight. Alex Stevens 27 and Northern Nightmare coming to the turn first. Looks like it's going to be Northern Nightmare taking the win in this one. His time being at 23.39, Whiplash 23.73. So there you go. Northern Nightmare is in the semifinals as we go to the second race of round two. Bakugan versus Gravedigger. Gravedigger being fourth fastest. Tom Holland Spider-Man being the driver. Now, these drivers, the ones with the faster times, are getting lane choice. Gravedigger had the fastest time in the right lane, so that's why they are in the right lane. However, Bakugan had his fastest time in the left lane, so who knows? Who knows how this is going to go? But I can tell you right now, it's going to be Gravedigger as he flew around that corner, 22.62. Bakugan, 23.32. So, Gravedigger moving on. So far, our two of the fastest qualifiers are moving on to the semifinals. So, let's see how race number 3 goes. Avenger being the truck that got the bye run. Will he move on to the semifinals too, or will Blue Thunder knock him out and try to make it to the finals again and get another racing win? We're going to have to find out. Avenger and Nicholas Morhees, Blue Thunder MT World Media. Coming into that final turn, looks like Blue Thunder's fumbled a little bit earlier in the track, so easy win for Avenger, 22.53. Blue Thunder going over. Is he going to be able to get that? Oh, man, he's able to keep it back on all fours. I lost my mind there. Oh, I'm keeping that in. That was funny. Okay, last race of round 2. Max D, Ethan Waters, and April Summers in Monster Mutt Dalmatian. The other lady, or the other female in this series, unfortunately was knocked out. She's the last one standing. Let's see if she can move on and make the ladies proud. Ethan Waters being our second fastest qualifier. Pretty even on the turn, but it looks like Monster Mutt Dalmatian and April Summers had the advantage of 21.97, our first racing time under 22 seconds. That is incredible. Coming out with the fastest time of the day after being 7th in qualifying, 7th fastest. Northern Nightmare versus Gravedigger in the semifinals, and then Avenger versus Monster Mutt Dalmatian. So we may see new people in the finals depending on how this first race of round 3 goes, the first race of these semifinals. Northern Nightmare versus Gravedigger. Let's see what's going to happen. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. They were pretty close. Well, I wouldn't say too close. 1st and 4th in qualifying racing, but still pretty fast. These two trucks both had times under 23 seconds as they come towards the last turn. Looks like they're somewhat even. Who's going to take it? Looks like it's going to be Northern Nightmare from the naked eye, but what's it going to be? A 22.68 for Northern Nightmare. Gravedigger 22.88. So Northern Nightmare going to the finals once again. He's out for blood. He wants that win after losing it in Anaheim to Blue Thunder. So here we go, second race of, or final race of the semifinals. Monster Mutt Dalmatian, April Summers, and Nicholas Morhees in Avenger. Looking like Monster Mutt Dalmatian has the advantage going into that turn, but she takes a pretty wide turn. Avenger was a lot closer, but she's the first truck coming into the turn. Easy win for Monster Mutt Dalmatian, 22.81, 23.82 for Avenger. So we have our final race ready. Northern Nightmare, our fastest qualifier, and Monster Mutt Dalmatian, our 7th fastest. So our first, or one of 2 women in the series is in the final. She's going to get this win, not only for herself, but all the females out there, especially Whiplash. Unfortunate that she was out in the second round, but I'm sure she's out here trying to win for everybody at this point. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see what's going to happen. She's put the fastest time of the day so far with a 21.97 if I wasn't mistaken. So going into the turn here, they look somewhat even, but I think Monster Mutt Dalmatian has the advantage. She does. She goes into the turn first. It's obvious who the winner is here. It's going to be April Summers and Monster Mutt Dalmatian. 21.96, another sub 22 time. So with that being said, your winner officially is Monster Mutt Dalmatian and April Summers. So huge win for April Summers and all the females out there, flying through the racing bracket, putting out 2 of the fastest times today. So very impressive. Congratulations to April Summers and Monster Mutt Dalmatian. So this is the new leaderboard after racing. Doesn't seem like much has really changed. However, there has been a lot of changes in points, especially with April Summers getting those 12 points. She's now up to 40. So still a little bit of ground to cover for her specifically, but it's doable as we move into the skills challenge. And to start us off, we have Mohawk Warrior and Blake Bell 2 coming out with a nice sky wheelie into a wheelie into popping it into a stoppie. Are they going to get a moonwalk out of this? Looks like they are. Riding that moonwalk across. That could have been trouble there, but able to save it, keep it on all fours. Good control by Blake Bell 2 and Mohawk Warrior, who was 11th in skills in Anaheim. So definitely wanting to get a win here. That was actually very impressive there. I wasn't sure where that was going. Kind of had to pause for a second there, but Good job on Mohawk Warrior. Let's see what his score is going to be. An 8.965, so coming out pretty high right off the bat. Good job for Mohawk Warrior as Whiplash comes out and Morales TCS into some trouble here. She's going to be able to save it. Was going to save it, but got it into a bicycle, so that's pretty impressive. Powering it out into a bicycle. That should score pretty well as she goes to her second attempt. What's she going to do here? Looks like she might just get it into a popper. There it is. Pop it into a stoppie, into a moonwalk, going up the jump. Rolling it over. Is she going to be able to save it? She was last in skills last time, but able to save it. Pretty good run, pretty good attempt this time around. Let's see where she's going to score this time. I mean, that looked pretty good. Not super impressive, but not bad either. A 6.584. So, unfortunately, I don't know if I mentioned already, but she was last in skills in Anaheim. And depending on how this goes, it may be last again. Hopefully that's not the case, as Monster Mutt and Ryan Hayward comes out with a pretty crazy run there. Not sure what was happening, but he was able to work it into his favor there, comboing it up. Really nicely done by Ryan Hayward and Monster Mutt. Score to beat currently is an 8.965 by Blake Bell and Mohawk Warrior. First attempt done. Let's see what we can get in the second one. Is it going to get a popper? Pop it into a stoppie. Is he going to bring it up? Moonwalk it up. Begging for bones. I see on the bottom of the truck. He's able to get it all the way up. Now he's going to ride it all the way down. Yes, sir, he is. And he kind of gunned it a little bit there. A little bit of desperation, I'm sure, keeping it from rolling over. But there you go, his second attempt as we wait for the scores to come in for Monster Mutt. And we're looking at a 7.661, so currently good enough for second place for Monster Mutt. And here comes Zombie. Eddie Garcia Jr. coming out was sixth in skills last time. Huge sky wheelie into a wheelie. A little rough there. Thought he might have been into some trouble, possibly going over as he rides the wheelie all the way across into a popper, stoppie, whatever it's called. Sure, he could have kept going, but that jump kind of got in his way, kind of messed him up a bit. So let's see what he's got in his second attempt of the day. Looks like he, not sure what happened there. Looks like he overdid it. I don't think it counted as an attempt. He kind of just overjumped it. But here we go, going into his second attempt. Popper into a moonwalk, trying to go across. I'm sure he wanted it to go longer than that, but unfortunately was unable to. Let's see what these scores are going to be. We're waiting for them to come in for Eddie Garcia Jr. and Zombie, and it is a 8.642, good enough for second place at the moment. As we move on to our racing winner of the day here in Glendale, April Summers and Monster Mutt Dalmatian, as she's trying to attempt what she did in Anaheim here. The maximum moonwalk into a reverse backflip, I think is what it's called, but was unable to get it, able to save it though, keep it on all fours. Kind of somewhat what happened in Anaheim. But she's working at it, trying to get it. Looks like she's going to line it up one more time. She is not giving up. She wants to make sure she nails this specific trick. So here we go, the control. Looks like she's going to gun it, but unfortunately able to go straight up. Still pretty impressive, but not it. But I'm sure she's going to keep trying at it. She'll get it soon. An 8.947 though, scoring really well. Last time was 9th. This time around currently in second place, just barely behind Mohawk Warrior as Maxine Ethan Waters comes out with a huge wheelie. Looks like he's going to ride it all the way across into that jump. Hopefully this isn't any trouble. No, he's able to keep it on all fours, but April Summers just point 18 behind Mohawk Warrior. So not enough, but good enough for second place as he goes into some cyclones here. Going to keep it going. There has to be some other kind of trick in this. If not, maybe just some donuts, but that's okay. I like donuts. They're one of my favorite tricks. Yep, that's going to be it for Max D and Ethan Waters. Let's see as his score comes in. And a 9.063, so actually currently in first place. Didn't think he would. 9.063 for Max D, Mohawk Warrior 8.965, Dalmatian 8.947, Zombie 8.642, Monster Mutt 7.661, and Whiplash 6.584. So, unexpected turn. Max D was 6th in two-wheel skills in Anaheim and is currently in 1st. Yeah, I mean, there were some killer donuts. I'll say that much. But anyways, moving on to Bakugan Dragonoid. Got that first attempt there. Was 4th in skills last time. See what he can get this time around. He's going to ride a wheelie. Ride it. As he kind of starts to roll forward a little bit. I wouldn't necessarily call it a front flip. More so of a somersault. But that's going to be it. His score comes in an 8.816 for Bakugan Dragonoid in Lane Flores 2. So good enough for 3rd place at the moment. El Toro Loco coming out with a wheelie. Not sure what happened there. It was an awkward bounce. Not able to get much. Kind of a bad luck attempt. Last time around was 7th, but looks like he's going to line it up for April Summers. What April Summers is doing. Oh, he's able to get it, able to ride it out. Is he going to be able to do it though? April Summers was struggling a little bit to master this move, and El Toro Loco and Julian Peacock Jr. is able to land it and master the move in his first attempt. Putting some competition out there for April Summers and Monster Mutt Dalmatian. 9.766 is his score. Very impressive, and so far the highest score we've seen in in skills challenge for the Stadium Series, as Avenger and Nicholas Morris comes out riding a huge wheelie across the field here. Whoa. Crashing into the wall there. He should be fine though, but very impressive by El Toro Loco and Julian Peacock Jr. Able to master that move in his first attempt, and now I know what April Summers is going to be doing. She's going to be training and practicing to make sure she nails that move next time around. But here we go, Avenger looking like he's going to be in some trouble here. And able to save it, keep it on all fours. Had a little bit of a lucky bounce there. 8.939 for Avenger, good enough for 4th place at the moment. Here comes Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and Gravedigger with a donut, as he's going to continue the donut. Super fast. I know he's dizzy, a little bit of a wheelie there. Pretty impressive. Looking back at Anaheim, was 5th in in the skills challenge. Excuse me, I'm trying to make sure I get that right. But a wheelie, riding a wheelie into what I thought was going to be a bicycle, but it's more so a crazy save into a moonwalk of all things. That ain't luck, I don't know what is. But very impressive and very lucky for Tom Holland, Spider-Man, and Gravedigger. Coming out with a pretty good attempt here, an 8.654 for Gravedigger. Not too high, but not a problem. We got 2 more trucks left in Blue Thunder and Northern Nightmare. So here we go. Blue Thunder's first attempt, MT World Media. What's he going to do? He's actually going to front flip it. Just clipping the bottom. The back axle, I mean, just barely clipping the bed of his truck. I don't know. That was insane. He got the front flip. That has to score well. It was a front flip into a stoppie. That was incredible. If we don't have a new leader, well, I don't know. He still has one more attempt to go. It depends on how the second one goes, but that was crazy. Looks like he might try it again. It might have been luck. I don't know. He's going to go for it again, though. Nope, not quite getting it. More of a little bit of a crash more than anything. Oh, I feel like that might mess up his chances here. 8.226. I think that second attempt is what got him, because he got the front flip. That's the first front flip we've seen so far, and that was incredible. Northern Nightmare coming out. Looks like he wanted a wheelie, got it into a little bit of a stoppie. Not sure what happened there. Might have hurt his attempt there. But he has one more to go. Northern Nightmare was 2nd in skills, Blue Thunder being 1st last time around. But here we go, a bicycle, a little bit of a violent bicycle into, looks like he was powering it out into a little bit of a wheelie. Now comboing it into a stoppie, most likely a moonwalk will follow. There it is. Not too bad for Northern Nightmare. As he goes over again, no, he's able to power it out and back on all fours. Let's see what it's going to be. An 8.696, meaning that Bakugan, or Bakugan, oh, Toro Loco, I was looking at the wrong truck, is your skills winner today. Julian Peacock Jr. getting the win there. Big win for him. 9.766, very impressive score. Max D being second, Mohawk Warrior being third. So big point chunk going to Mohawk Warrior. I know he needs it. And here are your leaders going into freestyle. Northern Nightmare in first, Blue Thunder in second, Avenger now in third, and Gravedigger and Max D tied for fourth. So some pretty significant changes here in the leaderboards, but freestyle is left. All this can change. Can't wait for it. Can't wait to see you there.